Hey, Tissa Burrs. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Come on in. Come on in. Hit the like button. Let me know you're here. Let's talk about this. A few things I'm going to talk about today. Oh, some of this stuff just have me speechless. I just, Speechless, speechless, speechless. Hey, Janet. I don't even know how to start. I mean, every time I think I know what I want to talk about, there is just no planning with this. It's just no planning, baby, because just as soon as you think you know where you're going with it, something will pop off. And he's still trying to stop us from them files from going out. And then Congress is passing laws right up under us. I mean, stripping our rights away from right up under us because we so preoccupied. And now he talking about dropping bombs on the Hey, Vicky. On U.S. missiles on U.S. soil. Oh my God. Yeah, we need an escape plan. We're gonna have to escape our own country. Is that what they trying to make us do? He dropping bombs on us.
Fox.
What is that old song? He dropped the bomb on me. He dropped the bomb on me. Oh my goodness. Come on in, good people. Lord, help us. Yes, Lord. Lord, help us, Jesus. But I'm glad that I tapped into the Hebrews and the Israelites and the Jews. I'm glad I tapped into it. I'm glad I tapped into it yesterday. I didn't know how people would take it. But I think we need to know. We need to be reminded of the truth because the truth will set us free. And in that, we will be reminded that God has a plan, even though he is not Israel. Oh, baby. Oh, let me tell you. In between everything I was doing today, please understand. Look at here, y'all. Look. Y'all know I ain't no good. Did I save it? Right here. Oh, no. That ain't it. That ain't the one. Yeah. Just in case y'all see what I got right there. Real Israel. And even though, oh boy, acting like he owned Israel, tapping into it, yeah, he the real Israel. We the real Israel. Okay? So, yeah. I'm on it, y'all. You can best believe I'm on it. Laughing at him. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. But let's tap on into this part, baby, because listen, Yeah, what's that old song? My soul is anchored. Then you go into don't wait till the battle is over. Do y'all know anything about that? Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout now. Because I know in the end, what? We gonna win. Oh, yeah, okay. So now I see why, for real, why there's so much hate on us. Why y'all just want to eliminate us. Because y'all done stole all the way back. Y'all go way back stealing. Huh? Yes, ma'am. I was leaning. You was leaning with your good ear. Samantha, you were listening with your good ear yesterday. I didn't even know you was in the midst with me yesterday. I didn't care how many people was in there. I didn't care, because the truth gonna set us free. Baby, I got some stuff lined up. You understand? Y'all ain't finna play in our face. Also, y'all been rewriting history. I'm up here talking. I mean, I know y'all have. I know y'all have. And I, oh my God, if only y'all knew the conversations I have had today. Let the truth be, I mean, baby, y'all been deceitful for a long, even with the food. Here I am thinking about the food and the medicine and, you know, and they're sacrificing and taking blood and grinding up humans. Then we find out about that wall in Israel and who they really bouncing back and forth. I mean, huh? That is why the books of the missing by yeah. They don't want us to know. You understand? They don't want us to know. And I was telling Scooter today, I said, you know, with everything that's going on, the Epstein files, Charlie Kirk, you know, and probably the Epstein files and the human trafficking, I already knew that was coming. I just didn't know how deep it was. But with this Charlie Kirk, let me tell you what Charlie Kirk did. Y'all, please get the likes up. Charlie Kirk's assassination, whatever it is, you know, based on what they have provided. And shout out to Candace Owens for going the extra mile to exposing the truth as much as she can. With them trying to play in our face with God. See, if I could be honest with myself, what sparked a lot of this on for me was him trying to play in our face with God, saying he was a solid believer, and he made, and you know, that's between him and God. I'm not trying to but his tree was not bearing good fruit. And because he was so adamant, because they made him this bigger than life, and a lot of us didn't even know who he was, right? And it's like, wait, what? Who? No, what? And Flag had, now, he wasn't an official. He was just an influencer. Now, who is he? Was he a part of the cabinet? Or civil rights should have never, okay. No empathy. Now, I know y'all knew I couldn't shake that no empathy, right? And it allowed me to stop doing whatever I was doing to now pay attention. Because right now, there is some wolves out there in sheep clothing, and they playing in our face. They trying to bait us to devour us. And had they not did that, had the situation not happened, I think I can only speak for me. I would have still just been going on as normal. Not being mindful outside of the box, if that makes sense. So as far as I'm concerned, shout out to them for trying to play in our face so openly and boldly about God. Because had they not put God in it, I probably wouldn't have paid them no attention, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie. I had never heard of them before. And it's like, okay, may he rest in peace. Condolences to the family, Lord. Yeah, but because they tried to play in our face, because he said no empathy, and then they started being mad at people. We started getting attacked for our freedom of speech, but they wanted to honor his. So it has allowed me to be awake in areas that I may have been asleep. I said all that to say that. And I am glad because we are tapping into the root. And that was one of the questions Scooter asked me today. How do you know? Because you have to get to the root, not the root. And that's what we was tapping into last night. So shout out to the ones who hung in there with me. Shout out to Janet for her support. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who we didn't care about nothing but listening. Even when I was ready to go and had fell asleep on them, they were still wanting more, not more. So shout out to y'all. Let's go. Let's hear about what he's doing today, because it's a bunch going on. He trying to drop missiles on us. He don't want nobody laughing at him. No king. I need some people out there with orange paint on their face and dirty diapers. Let's go. Now this guy here who used to rep him, his former, thank you, Janet, his former security advisor. Now he going after him. What he know? That's what I'm gonna say. What does John Bolton know? Let's listen.
Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, has been indicted. Fox News alert, President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, has been indicted. He's accused of mishandling classified documents. Let's go right to Fox News correspondent David Spunt with the details. David.
Hi, Will. This is breaking news out of Greenbelt, Maryland, federal court there. A federal grand jury has returned an indictment against former national security advisor John Bolton, but we want to be very careful. This has not been unsealed yet, so we don't know the names of the charges, specifically what charges
18 counts.
And we don't know how many counts he's facing, but we do know that this deals with allegedly mishandling classified documents. His own attorney, Abby Lowell, who famously represented Hunter Biden, Bill Clinton, Jared Kushner in the past, put out a statement a couple of weeks ago when news was swirling that this may be happening, admitting that Bolton did have classified documents in his possession, but said that those were pre-cleared for the publication of his book. So not much information right now other than to tell you that former national security advisor John Bolton has been indicted for allegedly mishandling classified documents. I do want to point out, though, that on August 27th, well, we were there as FBI agents raided his Maryland home and Washington, D.C. office. Agents were looking for these classified documents. And again, Abby Lowell said many of these documents would be, and I want to read a statement here. You don't have it, but I'm just going to paraphrase it here. I'm going to actually read the quote. We're just not going to put up the quote. He said, quote, "These are the kinds of ordinary records, many of which are 20 years old or more, that would be kept by a 40-year-old career official who served at the State Department, an assistant attorney general, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and the national security advisor." He said that these are dated with classification markings from 1998 to 2006. He says an objective and thorough review will show nothing inappropriate was stored or kept by Ambassador Bolton. So John Bolton indicted for allegedly mishandling classified documents, and he had said many times in the past during the raid on Mar-a-Lago, or when classified documents were found at President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware. Remember, he had an investigation too for classified documents. Bolton criticized both those men, and he said, quote, because if the people at the top can be casual about it when they get away with it, that is not a good lesson to teach, end quote. That was John Bolton in 2023. So still very fresh. This just broke. We're waiting to get some reaction from Bolton's team. I reached out to his attorney, Mr. Lowell, and we're waiting to see about this indictment being unsealed to get a little bit more detail here. Will.
Okay, thank you for that report.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
A federal grand jury today indicted former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who worked under Donald Trump's first administration, on charges related to the use and retention of classified information and documents that he had received while he was in office in the White House in 2019. Now, this information came to light after the information was found to have been hacked. One of his personal email servers that he used to transfer some of this information was reportedly hacked by a foreign entity. We don't know if that's a government or another bad actor, but that information somehow ended up in the wrong hands, leading to a further investigation into John Bolton and the notes that he may have taken. That led to the raid that we saw earlier this year in August, when FBI officials raided John Bolton's home in Bethesda, Maryland, as well as his office in Washington, D.C. During those raids, investigators found, according to search warrants, information and classified documents related to a number of secret and classified information concerning weapons of mass destruction, concerning the U.S. mission to the United Nations, and a lot of other top secret details that really shouldn't have been out there. It's unclear how much of that information may have actually ended up in a foreign hand, but it's important to consider when looking at this, what did John Bolton do to actually keep this information from getting hacked, from being released? Even if he didn't intend to have this information leak its way into the public environment, he's responsible for keeping that information safe. And he really shouldn't even have had the information to begin with.
President Donald was just indicted by a grand jury in Maryland. Do you have a reaction to that?
I didn't know that. You tell me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but it's the way it goes.
The case against him?
That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I just think he's a bad person. Okay, anybody else?
There was an allegation he obstructed a very prolonged effort to get records back from him. So that was partly an obstruction case. You'll recall also, John, that was dismissed in July 2024 by a federal.
Say what now?
There was an allegation he obstructed a very prolonged effort to get records back from him. So that was partly an obstruction case. You'll recall also, John, that was
and no telling what he got on him. He better leave him alone.
Appointed by then President Trump, or then former President Trump, that the special counsel investigating it was unlawfully appointed. None of that applies here. This is a Department of Justice case, and John, the prosecutor in the room was not one of those Trump political appointees, but a career national security prosecutor who's been there some time.
Yes, a key and important point. Let's turn now to Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy,
what do he know?
Your reaction to this?
Well, President
and why he mad at him?
Just weighed in. He was asked by a reporter in the Oval Office a few moments ago, John, what he thinks about this indictment. The president said he wasn't aware of it.
What
but
line?
He thinks that John Bolton is a bad guy and that this is...
Why does he always play like he don't know what's going on? But he done already said he want them. Did he forget that we saw his emails? Did he forget? He kills me always. I didn't know anything about it. Yes, you do. Quit lying. Everything you do is a lie.
what happened.
Yeah, he knows.
Trump has been railing
Jaquella,
against Bolton for years because
is
he
this
used
a
Bolton
tit for
primarily
tat?
as disloyal. Bolton was his national security advisor.
A tit for
key
tat.
role in Trump's first
I
administration.
think, yes, it's always going to be a tit for tat with him. And he knows that as long for them, every time they want to move something or do something, or if he get caught in something, at first the Republicans went after Letitia, now Bolton, and Comey. They went after Comey first. And guess what, Jaquella? He going after the No King protesters come this weekend because he want to drop missiles. He want anybody who's against him is Antifa, whatever that is. So he wants to release missiles in California because California beat him won in that case. So now he wants to send missiles on U.S. soil.
And he was basically as close to him as Marco Rubio is now, who is in the same job, though he also serves as Secretary of State. But Bolton and Trump disagreed on a number of foreign policy issues, Russia in particular. And after Bolton left, he was critical of Trump, and Trump gave it right back to him, has railed against Bolton in social media and in public for years.
Bolton know a lot of that foreign mishap.
Said a couple of weeks ago on True Social that he hoped
I don't know.
would happen.
He needs to be stopped ASAP.
This is why you shouldn't buy just one Mazzotto knife. If you only buy one, you're just losing money.
Because he's more about the foreign,
for less than $20,
making money
Nancy Cordes
in the new Israel that they trying to rebuild in Gaza, where he can put all these Trump towers. So they done made business reconstruction deals. So the U.S. ain't his priority. All he want is the money. Let's be real.
Thank you. Former federal prosecutor Scott Frederickson joins us now. Scott, your reaction to this?
I saw something that said it's 600 GOPs out throughout the Epstein files.
And what you think the challenge would be for prosecutors when it comes to having classified documents at home where you're not supposed to?
Well, my reaction is no surprise at all. We certainly have seen reports.
Didn't he have undocumented classified files in Mar-a-Lago? Didn't they have to go to Mar-a-Lago? I mean, so what's the difference? Okay.
What's coming after the search of his home and office in August of this year, and the return of the affidavit in court that was partially unredacted that indicates he was in possession of classified documents. There's classified documents that are classified.
All of them except Obama.
Said, look, these documents date back to 20 years, and most of these were approved. There seems to be three buckets the government was investigating. One is, did he possess classified documents that they found at his home and his office? Two, going back to his time in the first Trump administration.
Is she coming back?
Book. There was a big dispute about whether it was using.
Are y'all spinning?
The Justice Department.
Am I spinning, Janet?
Investigation, but that was closed. But not.
I stepped away. Is she coming back? Who are you talking about?
Reopened, and then the third bucket is there are reports that a foreign adversary had hacked Mr. Bolton's AOL.com email address, from which they apparently or maybe allegedly.
Can y'all can't hear me? Hold on. Oh, okay. Is who coming back then? I'm confused. I stepped away. Oh, okay. Let's go.
Obtain classified information. That'd be a case of mishandling classified classified information.
Fascinating. Okay, Scott, thanks very much. Let's go back to Scott McFarland.
He had files at home.
Scott, what do you know? We've learned more about the indictment.
We have a 26-page indictment just released, just unsealed. 8 charges here, 8 counts of the charge: transmission of national defense information and retention of national defense information. They're citing documents that he's accused of transmitting between September 2018 and
now remember, he said they was disagreeing about foreign affairs
over a 12-month period. John, they've assigned a judge to this case, Theodore Chung, in Greenbelt, Maryland, just outside of Washington. Chung is a 2013 appointee of then President Obama.
Okay, Scott McFarland, thank you so much for that.
Is the same lady do the indictment
John
that ain't
Bolton has
qualified?
been indicted on 8 counts over his handling of national defense information. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News
It's the
special
same
report. I'm John Dickerson.
former beauty queen contestant. Did she file the charges?
We continue our breaking news here on CBS News 24/7. A grand jury in Greenbelt, Maryland just indicted President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. This comes after court documents made public last month showed that Bolton was under investigation for a potential mishandling of classified information. So I'm going to go live now to CBS News legal contributor Jessica.
Everybody who got his dirt needs to come together.
The indictment. Let's talk more about the scope of this. What does this all mean?
Well, obviously that remains to be seen. I mean, we're at the very beginning of a criminal case. Well, the first thing that happens, of course, is the investigation. Then what we saw today, which is going to a grand jury, making a determination. The grand jury makes a determination about whether or not there's enough for an indictment. And then the indictment really starts the clock towards a potential trial. We should really emphasize that word potential. Right now, the indication is, I believe this is a 26-page indictment, 8 different counts, and they focus on exactly what we thought they were going to focus on, which is the retention of classified material and apparently material dealing with.
Well, what's criminal?
There was reporting that indicated that much of the investigation focused on the idea that John Bolton was making essentially diary entries in his AOL account that may have included classified information, including information related to national security, and that he may have shared that information with family members. Also reporting to indicate that foreign adversaries were able to hack into that AOL account and potentially obtain some of this information. So right now, that's what we know. I will also point out that there's some indication that this case so far, even above and beyond the idea that we're looking at different crimes, looks different from the cases against Letitia James and James Comey, in that right now, in what we know indicates that career prosecutors were the one who went to the grand jury and said, here's our case, do you think there's enough to indict? Whereas when it came to Letitia James and James Comey, indications were that the personnel in the Eastern District of Virginia essentially had to change over before that case was brought, that President Trump, in fact, appointed one of his personal attorneys to lead those cases.
One of his bunnies.
Lindsay Halligan, who essentially either presented the case to the grand jury in the case of Letitia James, or was the only person to sign the indictment in the case of James Comey. This has some indicia of looking like a more typical case at this point.
Bolton's home, as we saw, was searched, classified files taken out, phone records, and then also the book that was written. Let's talk about what happens now with Bolton. This information coming out, grand jury indicts the former national security advisor for mishandling classified information. Let's talk about the scale and scope of things, how serious it is, and if you're Bolton, what happens now?
So the reporting right now, obviously this is a breaking news story, indicates that these are serious charges. Obviously nobody wants to be on the receiving end of a federal indictment. There are a number of counts here, and they include something that's quite serious, which is having and retaining and potentially disseminating information that could put our country at risk. Now, what happens next? What happens next is that there will be an arraignment. charges will be read against John Bolton. He will enter a plea based on what he said publicly. He will enter the plea of not guilty. And then there will be a discussion with the judge about scheduling. I know that doesn't sound particularly sexy, but a lot of what happens next will be based on the judge saying, here's a trial date, and now let's move backwards in time from that trial date and set all of the motion dates. What's going to happen also, I think we can bet that John Bolton could try and get this case thrown out on a motion to dismiss before you ever see a jury trial, which is, frankly, again, most cases do not go to trial. Obviously, we can't prejudge what's going to happen in this case.
Jessica, we were just showing a list of items that were retrieved.
Please hit the like button, double tap your screen.
What possibly they retrieved, or the information that they got from those items: 2 laptops, 2 computers, a USB drive, the U.S. Department of State diplomatic security binder, confidential documents. What entails information from that?
It's a great question. So what it looks like is that they're looking at both physical evidence, but also maybe electronic evidence. I know that might sound obvious, but when it comes to the execution of the search warrant, we know that John Bolton's computers were taken, that I believe phones were taken. And so that indicates that the investigators here are looking at not just about whether John Bolton may have, taken a bunch of boxes and somewhere in those boxes there was classified material, but that he was actually working with that material. Maybe it was on his computer. Again, that maybe he had a diary going and that he was writing about classified information, and that that information wasn't stored in a safe way, in a proper way, and that others had.
How would they know that if they're in his house?
So I think, piecing together again what was taken from his home.
How would they know that?
Looking at it as a situation where there are allegations that he took folders, took documents that he should not have taken and retained those. And again, we're speculating here, but in addition, that there's a lot of information based on what he might have been writing in his emails, what he might have been writing on his computer outside of emails, and obviously what was on his phone as well. I think we can all guess that those things together will form the basis of this case as it moves forward.
And let's remind everyone, John Bolton served as National Security Advisor in Donald Trump's first term. He left the role after 17 months amid disagreements about Middle East policy. Trump said he asked Bolton for his resignation, but Bolton offered his resignation. And then after his departure, Bolton wrote a book about his time in the Trump White House. It is titled The Room Where It Happened, and it was very critical of President Trump. The first Trump administration tried to stop the publication, arguing it contained classified information. Bolton has denied any wrongdoing. So this has clearly been something that's leading up to today's indictment. But that is quite a lengthy list, and he has quite the history. And then
so it's about the book.
Bolton wrote a book about his time in the Trump White House. It is titled
The Room Where It Happened. What happened? The room where it happened. What else do you know, sir? Go ahead and tell it all. Yeah, find a way for us to get all the info. Since he wanted to play with you, play with him. Since he tit, you be tat. That's
the room where it happened, and it was very critical of President Trump. The first Trump administration tried to stop the publication, arguing it contained classified information. Bolton has denied any wrongdoing. So this has clearly been something that's leading up to today's indictment. But that is quite a lengthy list, and he has quite the history with President Trump.
Well, he does. And so what looks similar from this case to the other indictments that we've seen recently is that John Bolton has been, I think, a political enemy of the president for quite some time now. And I think you laid out all of the reasons why that has been the case.
All right, Jessica Levinson, thank you so much for your insight on this important day. Breaking news now. We're going to continue this. The Takeout with Major Garrett is next. You're watching CBS News 24/7.
John Bolton indicted. In the first Trump term, he was National Security Advisor number 3. There were 4, you might remember. Then he became a perceived enemy. Now he faces federal charges. Trump and Putin plan another summit to end the Ukraine war. Location, Budapest. Date, unknown. Actually on the calendar, President Zelensky at the White House tomorrow. He hunts deer, owns handguns, quotes the Bible, and leads crowds in singing America the Beautiful. He's running for governor of Iowa. Meet Democrat Rob Sand.
Never sue the person who hit you after a car accident. I just got $100,000 for an accident I was in last month, and I didn't sue. I didn't have to go to court.
Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome to The Takeout. Just because it was expected does not make it any less unusual. The Justice Department indicted John Bolton today over alleged misdeeds that could have, in part or in full, been prosecuted during the first Trump term. The charges, as so far as we know them, relate to classified documents in Bolton's possession, part of a book he wrote, and an AOL email account. Yes, an AOL email account. They're still around, though they're not nearly the rage they once were. Bolton will, of course, get his day in court. He joins other perceived enemies of President Trump in federal legal jeopardy. Former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The White House yesterday, President Trump, with top justice officials standing nearby, said this.
But then he gonna act like he didn't know it happened.
Against others in the political universe, namely California Democratic Senator Adam Schiff.
They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group.
That is a novel theory. President as chief law enforcement officer. Historically, that has been the Attorney General. But if the Attorney General acts entirely at the direction of the President, then in a linear, though not necessarily constitutional fashion, that would make this President the nation's de facto chief law enforcement officer. Trump directed the indictments of Comey and James, so some dispassionate observers might describe something of a pattern here. For more on the Bolton indictment, and we have just received the paperwork
is a pattern.
So this is a complex story that is evolving.
A pattern of manipulation, intentionally placing his friends, his gangsters, his mobsters, and his former they were victims. And I guess they stayed around for that old funky thing and became employees. Yeah, because that picture, she admitted, she looked like she wasn't expecting that question, so she knew somebody had evidence, right? She said she'd been knowing him for a long time. Bundy been knowing him for a long time. They go way back. Me and you, girl, go a long way back. Yeah, when she was little. Yeah. So she stayed around. And now she in place, and really, he running it. She just the face of it. Pretty much is what he was saying.
The political universe, namely California Democratic Senator Adam Schiff.
They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And
you hope they look at it the way they looked over yours and indicted you.
The chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group.
That is a novel theory. President as chief law enforcement officer. Historically, that has been the Attorney General. But if the Attorney General acts entirely at the direction of the President, then in a linear, though not necessarily constitutional fashion, that would make this President the nation's de facto chief law enforcement officer. Trump directed the indictments of Comey and James, so some dispassionate observers might describe something of a pattern here. For more on the Bolton indictment, and we have just received the paperwork on it, So this is a complex story that is evolving before our very eyes. We turn to Nicole Sganga. As I understand it, Nicole, 18 counts.
18 counts in total, Major. The 26-page indictment was initially sealed. It's just been unsealed. The U.S. grand jury in Maryland indicted former National Security Advisor John Bolton on criminal charges relating to the transmission of national defense information and the retention of national defense information. Now, reading through these counts, I was able to count 16 of them relate to Bolton's handling of top secret information, the highest classification given by the U.S. government. And just looking over the documents, now I can read some to our audience. On or about August 22nd, the FBI executed search warrants. They seized material from Bolton's residence in Maryland and office in Washington, D.C. Of course, we knew about that FBI search. And here, if you continue to read, you can see the FBI seized hard-copied printed versions of Bolton's diary entries, including documents that relate to the national defense and contained classified information. They're described below in some of these counts here. So we're still reading over some of the specifics. Some of them have to do with a personal email account. Some of them have to do with classified information that was exchanged between Bolton and some of his advisors.
And this would have been within his time of government service.
Within his time of government service, he was National Security Officer, as you know, for about 17, 18 months under the Trump administration in the first term before they parted ways.
There was sound from the president on this topic. He was asked about what he knew or did not know about the pending possibility of a Bolton indictment. Let's listen.
I didn't know that. You tell me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a
bad for guy, telling your business.
Bad guy. It's too bad, but it's the way it goes.
What else have we been able to glean so far, Nicole?
So far, we have learned 18 counts, Major. Again, all of them related to the transmission of national defense information and the retention of national defense information. We also learned that a representative for Bolton contacted the FBI back in 2021 to alert the FBI that they believe that Bolton's representative to be the Islamic Republic of Iran had obtained unauthorized access to one of Bolton's personal email accounts. So we were learning new information about how the FBI might have first learned about a possible compromise to Bolton's personal email account. Some concern here, Major, although we're still reading through these documents, of exposure potentially to a foreign adversary, including Iran.
As I mentioned, this paperwork has just come in our possession. Nicole is reading it now. Nicole, I'm going to give you a moment or two to keep reading, as you are so capable of doing, and then referring new information to us. I'm going to turn to the wall over here. We call this affectionately wall number 1. Scott Frederickson will join me now, former federal prosecutor. So where are we? There you are. You're on wall 1 now. Scott, again, I want to remind our audience, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the program. This has just happened. We are just going through the indictment. Taking that on board, what are your initial observations?
Well, the fact of the indictment is no surprise. We all knew this was coming. It all depends on the details and the facts. There are thousands of instances of classified documents that end up in former government officials' hands, if you will, or at their homes, and they're never charged. The difference is, what's the level of classification? If they are top secret, that's the highest level.
Is bitter.
Serious.
Bitterness.
What proof of intentionality is there that Mr. Bolton intentionally, knowingly mishandled this information? What we know leading up to the indictment is that the government seemed to be focusing on 3 buckets. One was stemming back to his original time during Mr. Trump's first term as president. Mr. Bolton wrote a book, and there was a large dispute with the Trump administration of whether he was using classified information. A criminal investigation was begun, but kind of petered out. There was a civil lawsuit, and that was resolved. The second bucket is documents that were seized at Mr. Bolton's Bethesda, Maryland home. That's why the indictment's in Maryland, and at his office in Washington, D.C. Were there top secret documents there that he had in his possession. We don't know if that's the subject of the indictment. And the third part is interesting. Apparently, Mr. Bolton was using an AOL email account and apparently or allegedly had information, classified information on that account that was hacked and intercepted by a foreign adversary. We don't know if that's part of the indictment.
So he had some of his foreign friends
for my internet connection. Fast,
hacking into his info, and then they turning around and giving him the details of the hack,
which I've heard communicated many times in this general sphere of prosecution. Intentionality. What did you know, and what did you willfully defy in terms of your handling of classified information? Walk my audience through how important that is.
That's critical because the criminal statute requires when they had no intention of doing so, or when they have them, they alert the government and say, "Hey, I've got this. I'm going to bring them back." This statute is not for those situations. It's when an individual knowingly, intentionally takes a document or retains a document, knowing he has no business to them, or when the government alerts them and says, "We want them back." And that was the case with former President Trump in his first term, allegedly, and he refused. So intentionality is required here, and prosecutors don't take cases unless, and they shouldn't, unless they can prove by circumstantial evidence or otherwise that this individual knew what they were doing and intentionally kept or retained highly classified documents.
And Scott, you mentioned that third bucket, an AOL email account. Historically, can you be prosecuted if someone hacks your account, or is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Just if you had something.
And if somebody hacked them and you had them hack it.
In what the government regards as a less than secure email place.
I think the answer, Major, is that yes, you could be prosecuted. It just depends, again, on what proof there is of your knowledge that, say, you were using an unsecure website. So if you're the national security advisor, you bring home highly classified, top secret documents, or that you use them.
So, I'm not a hacker, but, if you try to play with me, I'll try to play with you back. So, if you can hack, if hackers can hack, can they also put something in place like you did something that you didn't do? If you can hack, you can do a whole bunch of other stuff, can't you? Whatever they looking at, how we know that the hackers didn't hack into the system and add whatever information that how we know it came from his computer if they hackers. That's all I'm saying. Prove that.
Refer to information in them on an
it wasn't me.
Website, you're subject to be indicted. But again, it all depends on the facts. But every government official is schooled on how this works. And when you're dealing with the highest classified documents, you have no business putting them on or putting information contained in them on an insecure website such as AOL.com.
Scott Frederickson, thank you so very much. On the fly, giving us excellent context, legal analysis.
So AOL wasn't secure?
Nicole, I want to turn to you. The pages I heard as my back was turned to you. Somewhat rudely, I apologize for that.
We have been reading vigorously over here, Major, and I do want to share what I think are some of the key passages in this indictment. We are learning that between April of 2018 and August of 2025, Bolton, according to this court document,
he's such a trifling
national security advisor. It alleges he shared more than 1,000 pages of information about his day-to-day activities as national security.
But again, it all depends on the facts. But every government official is schooled on how this works. And when you're dealing with the highest classified documents, you have no business putting them on or putting information contained in them on an insecure website such as AOL.com.
Scott Frederickson, thank you so very much. On the fly, giving us excellent context, legal analysis.
Hey, Clarinetta.
Nicole, I want to turn to you. The pages I heard as my back was turned to you somewhat rudely. I apologize for that.
We have been reading vigorously over here, Major, and I do want to share what I think are some of the key passages in this indictment. We are learning that between April of 2018 and August of 2025, Bolton, according to this court document, abused his position as National Security Advisor. It alleges he shared more than 1,000 pages of information about his day-to-day activities as National Security Advisor, including information that was classified up to top secret SCI level with 2 unauthorized individuals. They're named individuals 1 and 2. We don't know exactly who these individuals are. He also unlawfully, according to the indictment, is accused of retaining documents, writings, and notes relating to the national defense of the country up until top secret SCI level at his home in Maryland. Interestingly enough, while he was serving as National Security Advisor between April 2018 and September of 2019, he's sent these diary-like entries on almost a daily basis. He used a personal non-government email, such as emails hosted by AOL and Google, the indictment says, to email information classified up to top secret level. At no point did he have the authorization to store or transmit the classified information that he sent to these 2 individuals, or even to store them. And then this is interesting. This is what we touched on earlier, Major. At some point in September 2019, between September 2019 and July 2021, a cyber actor believed to be associated with Iran hacked that personal email account and gained unauthorized access, to that account, which Bolton had previously used to email these 2 unauthorized individuals. A representative for Bolton notified the U.S. government in July of 2021, but did not tell the U.S. government he had classified information. So that seems to be when the U.S. government was first tipped off to a potential breach, frankly, of this personal email account that was later found to have.
And that is information outside of his time as National Security Advisor. So these things are then, and they are later than that. Nicole Skanga, reading on the fly, translating beautifully. That's not easy to do. I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. President Trump, there's more news today, lots of it. President Trump said he and President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, will meet in Hungary to discuss
the
Russia war.
They meeting up because Putin wasn't playing, and he teamed up with he was planning on teaming up with Venezuela. Yeah, while you shooting these missiles and you making deals and peace deals with BB. I had another name for him. Oh man, nothing sue me. Yeah, so you want to play? Is this what we're doing? Oh, okay, so now you meeting with him. So you making deals all in all these foreign countries and creating war. You know, you making peace deals and stuff over there. Now with yeah, and then you starting wars in the U.S. Oh, okay. Okay.
Following what the president described as a productive phone call today between the 2 leaders. Our Nancy Cordes joins us now from the White House. Nancy, what do we know?
What we know, Major, is that this comes as something of a surprise that President Trump is willing to sit down once again, one-on-one with Vladimir Putin without any assurances from Putin that he will also meet with Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, even after President Trump sat down one-on-one with Putin for the first time back in August and received indications then that Putin would be willing to move forward on this peace deal and potentially sit down with his Ukrainian rival. So, it's unclear why the president is basically giving this major prize to the Russian president without getting what he had been seeking in return, which was a trilateral meeting involving himself and Putin and Zelensky. But one White House official said to me today that this is a president who's looking for peace, and if this is a meeting
he ain't looking for no peace,
move things in that direction, then he's willing to do it.
As I mentioned, in the open of the show, we don't have a date for this meeting in Budapest, though Budapest has long been discussed privately as a likely location of a meeting of this kind. We do have something on the calendar tomorrow. Zelensky and the president at the White House.
Right, and that is a long-planned meeting. At that meeting, Zelensky will likely push President Trump once again to allow him to buy long-range Tomahawk missiles that Zelensky could use to fire deep into Russia. Zelensky has been talking about the fact that his country is being pummeled, its infrastructure, its energy facilities being hit by a barrage of Russian drones and missiles once again just last night. And interestingly, a short time ago,
missiles hit last night.
Did say that he brought up those Tomahawk missiles in his conversation with Putin today, a 2.5-hour conversation, by the way. Trump, in a somewhat joking manner, said that he told Putin, "How would you feel if I give your opponent 1,000 or 2,000 Tomahawk missiles? What do you think about that?" And he said Putin doesn't like it very much. But Trump has been kind of dangling this possibility for months.
But again, remember, he got our troops and stuff.
Today, even as he was saying that he might do it, he also made a point of saying that the U.S. needs its own stockpile of Tomahawk missiles, implying that perhaps we don't have any to spare.
In the Russian readout of the phone call, Russia noted that the Tomahawk missile conversation came up. Putin told the president, according to the Russians, it would have no practical effect on the battlefield. Whether that's true or not, we don't know, but would seriously harm U.S.-Russia relations. Nancy Cordes, North Lawn of the White House, thank you very much. Still to come, the shutdown of the federal government will continue into next week. Another failed vote and the Senate leaving Washington. Our reporter talks to Americans now feeling the financial squeeze.
Of course.
Farmers sound the alarm over Trump administration's $20 billion, maybe it's going to be $40 billion, planned bailout for Argentina. What Democratic candidate for governor Rob Sand has to say about trade woes in Iowa and its soybean farmers. Plus, President Trump issues Hamas a new warning over violence in Gaza and the release of deceased Israeli hostages. I will speak to a former ambassador, his name is Michael Oren, on the non-conventional approach.
See how much stuff he got going on at one time.
Took to achieve a ceasefire
Chaos.
and the release of Israeli hostages. All that. Takeout returns in 90 seconds.
Chaos.
Ever wondered what happens when legs like these almost suddenly become like this?
President of chaos. Hold on.
Example of people.
Y'all please double tap your screen and hit the like button.
Smart, clearly uplifting. Clearly CBS Mornings.
On Face the Nation. Right now.
Sunday morning.
Okay, hold on. Let's go here. Let's see. The missile. Where's the missiles? Where is the missiles? Let's see. You next. Don Lemon funny. He said you next.
Times. Like his college roommate, I think he said, or a friend from college. I forget exactly what he said. Andy, make sure I'm in the middle. Am I in the middle? You put up that little thingy of No Kings starting Saturday, 11 a.m. on this channel. Until that No Kings protest, the march, until it is over, we're going to be here covering it. Join me. I'm going to be on with Joy Reid and Jim Acosta. A whole lot of folks are going to join us, including. Thank you so much. So make sure that you're a subscriber, okay? Make sure that you're a member of the Lemon Nation. I've been told by everyone that my memberships are too low, but I like to keep it affordable. Okay. And so there you go. So hit the thumbs up. It affects the algorithm. Hit the like. And thank you again for all of your support. So welcome to the Don Lemon Show, everybody. Remember our coverage of No Kings starting Saturday, 11 a.m. on this channel. And indicted the former national security exercise your First Amendment right. Freedom to organize.
Do we have him? Are he trying to take our rights? He gonna put a missile on us.
To all of our new members. I'm going to try to do this without glasses because I get tired of wearing these glasses. They keep going. You have to keep pushing them up because I just don't have much of a nose. And it's mine. It's not like a Michael Jackson thing. This is all mine. Okay. So good evening, my friends. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show. As we are streaming to you tonight, once again, there's major breaking news to tell you about. Moments ago, a federal grand jury indicted the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton. Bolton is the third person to be hit with federal charges in the last month after President Donald Trump called for their prosecution, okay? Bolton was indicted in federal court. It happened in Maryland, where he lives, and where prosecutors have been investigating whether he improperly retained classified materials following his acrimonious departure from the first Trump administration. Now, remember, we were on live when his home was being raided, right? So his lawyer is Abby Lowell. Abby Lowell is representing all of these people pretty much. I think, yeah, he's representing all three of them, I believe, and including the women who Donald Trump has targeted after, he tried to get them fired, et cetera, so on, so on, so on. So Abby Lowell has maintained that the former diplomat had handled records appropriately. The FBI conducted searches of Bolton's Maryland home and his Washington, D.C. office. That was back in August. Again, we carried it for you live. Redacted search warrant application showed law enforcement cited Bolton's 2020 book, Pre-Publication Review, and the hack of Bolton's AOL account by a foreign entity as a basis for a probable cause to search his residence and his office. Again, this is a breaking news. John Bolton, the former National Security Advisor, has been indicted. Another one of Donald Trump's political rivals being indicted. Now, remember, I told you this morning, I had a long introduction to this show about just how dangerous this is. This is a break the glass moment. This is unbelievable, and everyone should be frightened by this. By having a president of the United States stand in the Oval Office and say, hey, you, head of the FBI, you, head the Attorney General of the United States, you need to be prosecuting these people. You need to be indicting these people. Here you go. The foreign entity's name remains unclear as it section was redacted in the filings that were made public here. So the book that is at question here referred to an in-search warrant was Bolton's room where it happened. You remember that book? It chronicled the tumultuous time as Trump's national security advisor. The 2020 book became problematic for Trump before it was even released during his first impeachment. The case involved allegations that the president withheld military aid to Ukraine to force it to announce an investigation into Biden and his son, Hunter Biden.
What now?
Bolton was spilling the tea. Donald Trump didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Bolton said in the book that Trump had explicitly told him that's why he was withholding the aid.
The knife was too good.
Oh, Lord, that was getting good, wasn't it? Y'all, please double tap the face of y'all screen. Hit the like button.
After placing my
like and share and subscribe.
Trump denied it.
It's free. It don't cost you nothing. Just go ahead and double tap, just like that, the face of your phone that you're listening on or watching. And if you're on your computer, there's 3 dots at the top, right? Just hit the dots, hit the thumbs up. Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Oh, so you don't want to do it. You can, but you ain't. Okay, well, go ahead and leave. I can't be nice. I can't nicely ask you. You no, then leave. Go ahead and get out. Yeah, bye-bye. Oh my God. And don't go in my comment section telling me I didn't have to be mean. Yes, I did. Because you don't respect nice. You didn't have to be direct. Yes, I do. Bye. Come on. I need some more of y'all to leave. I need more of you to leave if you cannot double tap the face of your phone and get the likes up. It's just that simple. Oh, okay. I need some more of you to leave. Yeah. And don't come back when you think I'm going to start it back up. Either hit the like button or leave. It's just that simple. I've never. Wow, y'all just so entitled. Where we at? Good. The number's dropped. Okay.
Was acquitted in the Senate in a trial, called for Bolton to be prosecuted after his book was released. He released massive amounts of classified and confidential but classified information. Okay, so that is illegal, and you go to jail for that. That's what Trump told Fox News in an interview at the time. None of that has been proven. That's an allegation by Trump. So far, innocent until proven guilty. So Bolton denied that the book included classified information, court filings related to the search warrant. So the FBI had been investigating Bolton for years. Agents had interviewed him 8 times between October 2020 and June of 2025 at his office, according to the application. So that is where we start this evening. What do you think of this? I want to know in the comments what you think of this. And by the way, the Legends, this is supposed to be a Legends show. This is usually the Legends Day, but one of our producers, Nikki, is out, who is very helpful in these situations. It takes a lot to get all of those people, all of you guys on the screen. So stand back and stand by. We're going to get you on. It's just that we're down a person because Nikki is out on vacation. Okay, so I just want you to stop and think for a second. I want you to really look at what's happening around you. I'm not talking about the headlines that they feed you.
Right.
I'm not talking about the distractions that they toss like breadcrumbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about the pattern.
The bait.
There's a pattern underneath all of this.
I agree.
The pattern is bigger. It's more dangerous. It's more deliberate than they want you to believe. It's sicker than they want you to believe.
I
I'm
agree.
Sure some of these people just go, oh my God, what are we doing? And then I'm sure some are like, they've already sold their souls.
That's the
Can
problem.
you imagine thinking that this is a good thing to do this? Can you imagine having that kind of, being in that kind of headspace, that kind of...
He done tricked them too, though.
Mentally delusional.
But they...
Evil.
So
mindset.
Against the left...
So it starts with one.
That it has to even be better, even though he's
the state to punish
lied to them.
As we said this morning, one sick puppy. First, it was Letitia James, the Attorney General, who dared in New York, who dared to investigate his finances and expose the fraud at the heart of his empire.
Mm-hmm.
She did her job, and he turned her into
and
a target.
exposed that he was broke.
James Comey, right?
And begging.
Also involved. Also indicted. The FBI director refused to pledge loyalty to Donald Trump. They fired him. They humiliated him. Now they're trying to humiliate him again. And now he's facing the machinery of prosecution.
We can't dismiss this.
Broken begging.
Unhinged rant. Trump is threatening to abolish voting
Imagine
by mail
that,
and gerrymander
Trump.
more.
And now today, John Bolton, Donald Trump's own former national security advisor, his own former national security advisor, a man, by the way, who he despises, he dragged into court, or dragging into court. This isn't justice. This is vengeance. Donald Trump wants revenge. He doesn't want to enforce the law.
Nope.
He wants to show power. He's weaponizing it. This is about weaponizing the law. It's about teaching a lesson. If you cross him, he's going to come for you. If you don't kiss his ass.
Who you talking about, Jerry? Who is right?
You defy him.
Jerry, who you talking about?
If you stand up to him, he's going to try to use every lever of government to make you regret it.
Right.
But be strong, everyone. Be strong, Comey and Bolton and James. Trust the process. The law is on your side.
Is it?
It's going nowhere, and he looks like a fool. He looks like an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
Except he thinks it's a big deal. He just wants to make their lives harder.
Anybody who exposed his truth.
I mean, what would they, I guess, look, financially it sucks, but this is something that you leave to your lawyers and you just trust the process. Say, here's what I have, here's what it is.
Oh,
Take it
okay.
when you need to.
Thank
Otherwise,
you.
I'm going about my life and my business. This is something that you cannot be bothered.
I agree with you.
Because
he's trying to make all our lives miserable.
Will face any consequences except
Period.
for having to pay a lot of money for legal fees. And I wonder if there's any way that Donald Trump has to pay the fees. Probably not, because he's not doing it as a private citizen. We're paying for this.
Yep.
We're having to pay the fees. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm not Letitia James, I'm not James Comey, I'm not John Bolton, you're missing the point, because the purpose of targeting the powerful isn't just to punish them, it's to send a message to you. He wants to remind you that he can do that. He can also just pick you up and arrest you. Come on, people.
Right. Come on. They missing the whole point.
Sick, deranged person.
He can flip on you.
Infect our lives.
Exactly.
Why?
I agree.
This is mental. I don't even know what the word is. It's abuse. It's mental abuse.
Overload.
This man is sick. There's something wrong with him. And all of you people who are sitting there on the news and pretending like having these conversations like this, no, it's not normal. Something is wrong with him. Something is wrong with our country. Remember, the Pentagon wants you, news media, to run everything by them. What? Hello? You guys, I'm tired of screaming at you. You better wake up.
I totally agree.
This is to remind you that if he can do it to them,
he can do it to us.
Anyone, and he will.
Absolutely.
So you better fall in line.
And yet people are thinking, oh, right? He gonna do it to them. He won't do it to us. Oh, okay.
The same impulse, the same.
I mean, Charlie Kirk family can act like they don't know what's going on if they want to.
Out in real time in Chicago. I want to introduce you to this man in Chicago. His name is Ruben Antonio Cruz, 60 years old. He has heart problems. He is a lawful permanent resident of the United States. He was sitting with a friend when ICE agents pulled up. They asked if he had his papers. He said yes, but they were at home. They shoved him into a truck. They interrogated him. This is reportedly what they did, about his dead parents, and then fined him $130,000 for not carrying proof of his existence. Show me your papers. Is that what we've gotten to? Anyone who has been a member of a marginalized group or a group of people who have been attacked or discriminated against, and especially my Jewish brothers and sisters who know all about the show me your papers thing and proof that you're not a Jew. Are you outraged by this? The revenge is crazy. Are you standing up for these folks? What are you doing? They fined him $130 for not carrying proof of his existence. Show me your papers. I don't have any papers on me. I'm an American citizen. When the thing is, it should be the other way around. Show me your papers, ICE agents. Where is the warrant? Where is the proof? I need a signed warrant by a judge. Otherwise, you're impinging upon my rights, my 4th and 5th Amendment rights. So, no, you show me your papers. But again, they think that you work for them when it's the other way around. They work for you, the very people that they're picking up and charging $130. Now, here's the weird thing. Can you imagine that you go through this, you're not supposed to be picked up, you spend all that time at a lockup, and then you get out and they say, okay, because you didn't have your papers, $130. What the fuck? How about this man turning around and suing the shit out of them? So I want that to sink in. A man who has legal status, who belongs here, fined for not having his paperwork in his pocket. And he is the lucky one because, you remember I talked to you about 66-year-old Luther in Chicago. Black man, born here, had his birth certificate, social security card, state ID with him. They didn't care. They didn't want to see it. They took him away, held him for 10 hours, and then just let him go. No explanation.
They didn't want to see it. Y'all see that?
Imagine that you go through this. You're not supposed to be picked up. You spend all that time at a lockup, and then you get out, and they say, okay, because you didn't have your papers, $130.
Oh, then you have to pay.
How about this man turning around and suing the shit out of them? So I want that to sink in. A man, otherwise,
y'all hear this?
The thing is, it should be the other way around. Show me your papers, ICE agents. Where is the warrant? Where is the proof? I need a signed warrant by a judge. Otherwise, you are impinging upon my rights, my 4th and 5th Amendment rights. So
ICE is the 2025
and they think
KKK
that you work for them when it's the other way around. They work for you, the very people that they're picking up and charging $130. Now, here's the weird thing. Can you imagine that you go through this, you're not supposed to be picked up, you spend all that time at a lockup, and then you get out and they say, okay, because you didn't have your papers, $130. What the fuck? How about
when do you have to have papers on you?
The shit out of them. So I want that to sink in. A man who has legal status, who belongs here, fined for not having his paperwork in his pocket. And he is the lucky one because, you remember I talked to you about 66-year-old Luther in Chicago. Black man, born here, had his birth certificate, social security card, state ID with him. They didn't care. They didn't want to see it. They took him away, held him for 10 hours, and then just let him go. No explanation.
Well,
across the same city, American citizens, people born in the U.S., in U.S. hospitals, people carrying passports are being zip-tied and accused of lying about their own identity. One woman says agents told her that she didn't look like her own name. Did you guys hear that story?
No.
There's a woman who was married. She had a name that sounded kind of waspy, or what they thought, I guess, was an American name or white name.
And she, so she was white, and she didn't look like her name.
You don't look like your own name. What is that? What is my name supposed to look like? Think about what that means. The government deciding who
and the sad thing about it is, until the mega of the right gets traumatized or mistaken or put through the ringer, it's okay. It's okay with them. It's only going to be a problem when they feel it, your family member feel it, or it begins to affect you and your job. Now it's a problem. Hi, Rose. Yeah. So I'm sorry to say that there had to have been a white lady who didn't look like her last name and got pulled through the ringer. But it should have already been a problem before it got to those extremes. Oh, I didn't see Jasmine.
Based on their face, their skin, their accent, and their
But she said the U.S. Our citizenship, Congress approved it to be deported.
Am I boring you? I don't know. Am I boring you? Because I will move on. Because I feel like sometimes, I just keep preaching at you, and you're gonna get tired of me. But yeah, maybe you have to, because this is some scary shit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we take it. I think we take it for granted.
The last day of my.
I think we take it for granted. I'm gonna be honest. I think we the people. I think we the people take it for granted. I've heard people say, "Oh, we done been through worse." No, I haven't. I've never lived in a time where you have your citizenship in a free country is being compromised. I've never. I've seen some things, some unjust things, but this right here, and the courts and the Supreme Courts and the Congress are just going along with it. See, I knew it was a problem when they allowed a convicted criminal felony to be in office. So it's not a prestige job anymore. But if it was Obama, someone of a different nationality, oh my God, it would have been such an uproar. So these people are walking around, sitting around, thinking, "Oh well, I don't see it." What do you don't see that he's a convicted felon with 34 times over? Oh, we don't talk about it. Oh, you don't talk about it. So you're gonna move like it ain't there, like, okay, so it's no problem because I don't see it. Talk about in your face, and nobody has an uproar about a convicted felon. And then we wonder why he is doing what he's doing. He's a criminal. What do we expect? Hold on. He is a convicted felon. Excuse me, Don. He's a convicted felon. What do we really expect? He's a crook and a thief, a liar, what do we expect? So for a small percent, I'm gonna say, well, y'all knew that, letting him in. So why are y'all still allowing him to stay in position? Once that he has proven that he is a criminal-minded, thief, liar, manipulator, sabotage, enemy of the state, why is he still in position? So all that acting like you don't know the truth, y'all not watching, we not, I forgot, those 34 felonies. Oh yeah, he really shouldn't be in office. Should he? Oh, okay. It depends on what state. And it depends on the felonies. Some of them, some of the felonies you can't. Some felons can't vote. And I thought it was a process that you had to go through in order to get the judge to sign off on being able to vote. Yeah, I mean, so until they stop playing like they done forgot he's a convicted felon and that he should have never been. I mean, because that's the normal go of how things go, you know. If you're a convicted felon, that's the highest crime. And so, you know, a lot of people can't even get apartments. Can't get government assistance. Yeah. Can't fill out, I mean, you can fill out an application, but most can't get jobs. And as if I was a felon, I would be protesting. I would create an organization because he would need to lift the ban for all felons, right? Oh no. Oh, of course not. They're criminals. It's law and order. They're supposed to follow the law, right? Come on, listen. I don't understand how people even play like that. I'm pissed that you even act like you're going up under law and order and you are a criminal. I'm not going to act like you're not a criminal. I'm not going to act like, because you act like a thug. Yeah, you act like a thief. You act like a deceiver and a con artist. You act like that. So why would I go around acting like they made a mistake? Like that ain't who you are. Like it's defamation. No, it's not. You're proving that it's correct. They got it correct. And that people need to watch their account, watch your purse, watch your kids, watch your wife and husband, watch everything that you love and value around him. Because he'll snatch it and steal it. Sleep with it and all of that. If 12 years old is his goal mark. That came out of his mouth. And his spiritual advisor advised him the same. Because he was doing the same thing at Gateway in Texas. His spiritual advisor. Yeah. Yeah.
If you think that you sitting at home right now, if you're having your dinner, you're just sitting watching me on the couch, wherever you are in your office, if you think that they can't come for you and they're not going to come for you, or that you wouldn't get the same treatment, you are out of your damn mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want you to know this is not about border security. This is not about safety. It's about fear. It is a fear tactic. This is about control. It's about seeing how far that they can go before you say enough.
let's move on, cause this is crazy to me. It's what they used to say, crazy as a Bessie bug. This is crazy. Some of the craziest crap I done seen in all my life. Where is it? Why is it not? Isn't it the truth? I mean, this is just some of the craziest mess. Let me get to the want to drop missiles on everybody that protest, especially now. He want to drop. Y'all please hit the like button. Double tap the face of your screen. Oh, let's stop right here. I've been meaning to talk about this one. Let's just touch bases while I get this added over to my
Do you know Hobby Lobby has hundreds of incredible products on sale every single week? Just check.
And it quickly spotted a brand spanking new. Is how the person made $192 million in 2 hours. Unusual Whales on Twitter is an account that scans the crypto markets for unusually large activity.
Crypto
and
again.
Quickly spotted a brand spanking new crypto wallet with no previous activity that made the $192 million. This is what Unusual.
Did y'all hear that? In 2 hours. Crypto. Right? Who do you think?
Crypto markets.
Who? Can I get a guess? Who do y'all think this involved? Stealing. Crypto. 2 hours. Brand new account. No activity. Funneling. Who do y'all think? Funneling. You mean funneling?
For unusually large activity. And it quickly spotted a brand spanking new crypto wallet with no previous activity that made the $192 million. This is what Unusual Whales put out. Breaking, look at this. A new crypto account was opened yesterday morning, 30 minutes before Trump's announcement of 100% tariffs on China. It added a huge multi-million-dollar leveraged Bitcoin short position for YF. The market dumped. The trader made a profit of $192 million in 2 hours. Unusual. Some people have been suspiciously pointing at Trump's sons, Barron Trump.
Okay, so you've probably seen the headlines,
right?
Barron Trump, President Trump's youngest son.
I don't know this guy. I don't know. I know it happened, but I don't know about him. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't know about him. Let me find it somewhere else. I don't know about him. He just popped.
Youngest son, Barron Trump, could get a spot on the board of China-owned TikTok. Newsweek is reporting that the president's former social media manager suggested the role.
Oh, okay. So there go TikTok again. So they trying to hire him. Okay. So he getting his son up in there. Y'all see what's going on, don't you? Yeah. So they moving his son up in there. Okay, hold on. Because I had heard it was on TikTok. Let me find it. I don't want that other guy. I don't know if I trust him just yet.
Less than 20%.
And this has been yet another opportunity that Donald Trump and his buddies are. This administration is the most corrupt administration in American history, bar none. The way that Donald Trump has used the presidency to make a bunch of money, to help out his billionaire donors, to target his enemies, help out his friends, is disgusting. We see it every single day that Donald Trump has been in office. But look, the story I'm about to show you is not only incredibly concerning, but just yet another example of that blatant corruption that really is just not getting enough attention. So I want to get into this story and more. There's a lot to get through today, but before I do so, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below.
Yeah, please
it really
hit the
does
like
go
button.
an incredibly long way. Helps me keep the channel running, bringing news to you every single day. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. Let me know your thoughts. Without further ado, let's dive in. This story is especially concerning for me as a Gen Zer, as somebody that posts on TikTok, but by now, I'm sure you're familiar with Trump's TikTok deal, where the United States is going to own a majority share, China is going to own, I believe, less than 20%, and this has been yet another opportunity that Donald Trump and his buddies are looking to make money from, to help out his own family members, because now, 19-year-old Barron Trump has been tipped for a top job.
They tried to silence him.
His name was AunTeaFee.
He was only 16 when he saw it.
At TikTok, after his dad, Donald Trump, tells users that they owe him for saving the platform. The president has previously claimed that users owe Barron Trump for saving the social media platform in a video from the Oval Office. I wish I could say I was kidding, but this is a real story. Trump's 19-year-old son could be in the running for a top job at TikTok, according to the president's former social media manager. Trump previously claimed that he saved TikToks, and now they owe him for doing so, the people who use the app. Jake Advent, the president's 22-year-old former social media manager, joined in by saying that Trump should give his teen son a position on the social media platform to broaden its appeal for young people. He said, quote, "Young people are overwhelmingly the user base of TikTok. I'm hopeful Trump will consider appointing his son Barron and maybe other young Americans to TikTok's board to help ensure it remains an app young people want to keep using." What experience does Barron Trump have in tech, in running an app, in being on the board of directors of a multi-billion-dollar company? The answer is none. That's the answer. There is no experience that Barron Trump has. He's a college student. He goes to NYU, apparently now in DC, at their DC campus. That's the experience he has. He has no business experience. His only experience is being related to Donald Trump, and that, for MAGA, is good enough to put him on the board of directors for a major social media company. The corruption, the nepotism is so blatant and so gross that they're not even trying to hide it. And this is just Trump's social media manager, who clearly has the president's ear because of the close relationship that these folks made on the campaign trail. So it would not surprise me if this actually happens, that Barron Trump gets on the board. And of course, he recently moved back into the White House and whatnot. The president, of course, Trump, had a complicated relationship with TikTok, suggesting that the app threatens people and trying to ban it, but then later trying to save it and whatnot. Trump signed an executive order which will allow U.S. investors to access a licensed copy of the app's robust recommendation algorithm. According to Trump, the new group of investors will be led by Oracle, a software company helmed by 81-year-old tech billionaire and Republican donor, of course, Larry Ellison. There he is, him and Trump. This whole thing reeks of corruption. It's Trump buddies getting in on the deal. It's the Trump buddies who own TikTok. And Donald Trump has previously said he wants to make the algorithm MAGA. He's just saying, I want it to be 100% MAGA. Again, they're not trying to hide it. They're all just saying it out loud, that they want to be openly corrupt. And I'm going to show you in just a moment how bad that really is. I mean, here's Trump's quote: "I always like MAGA related. If I could do it, I'd make it 100% MAGA related in terms of content on the app." And I just want you to think about this for a second. Remember all of the attacks that the Republicans launched on the Biden family, claiming corruption? Hunter Biden did this, Hunter Biden did that, Joe Biden did this. They launched investigations, spending millions of taxpayer dollars into Hunter Biden's art.
Right.
His art, saying that there was a conflict of interest. And now we have senior members of Trump's team saying, yeah, throw Barron on the board. And all of Trump's other family members, yeah, throw him in the government. we have all these different figures in senior roles advising Donald Trump every day, and they have no problem. There's no investigation. There's no allegation of a conflict of interest there. Donald Trump Jr. and Trump's kids have business in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
They own things in the Middle East. They're working on things in the Middle East to make the Trump family money, and the Republicans are silent. And I think this point was made really well by Chris Murphy,
deals,
where the Republicans are just running away from this topic 24/7. They have been out of Washington, D.C. for weeks now, and I think Chris Murphy identifies exactly why. Take a look.
There are no negotiations happening, in large part because the House of Representatives isn't even here. They've been on an unprecedented 5-week recess because they do not want to risk their billionaire tax cut. And they also don't want to talk about the president's lawlessness. I mean, that's the other thing that we have to talk about in this budget. If we're going to fund this administration, we need to fund an administration that is paying attention to the law. I would be a sucker.
So that's why they're looking over it.
For a budget that allows the president to then go and spend money only in states that are run by Republicans and spend no money in states that are run by Democrats.
Yeah, the Republicans, I think he said it well, they don't want to talk about
He's
the president.
cutting jobs.
That's the other thing that we have to talk about in this budget. If we're going
Democrats
to fund this administration, we need to fund an administration that is paying attention to the law. I would be a sucker, Margaret, to vote for a budget that allows the president to then go and spend money only in states that are run by Republicans and spend no money in states that are run by Democrats.
Yeah, the Republicans, I think he said it well, they don't want to talk about the president's lawlessness and corruption. They don't want to be confronted with this topic, this blatant corruption. They don't want to be confronted with the hypocrisy of them investigating Hunter Biden's art, but not investigating Trump's crypto, the plane from Qatar, or any of these other money-making schemes that Trump has engaged in. There's a double standard. And I just want to quickly go back to the point of Trump not even trying to hide it, because it has become so blatant.
Yeah.
This video was just released recently of Donald Trump on the golf course with his granddaughter, I believe, Kai Trump, where he's screaming at his wealthy donors, his wealthy buddies, that he's bringing down their taxes. It is so blatant. Look. Honestly, I tried the new bearskin hoodie, and here's the truth.
Well, that's why they acting like they don't care that he's a convicted felon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Your taxes are coming down. See, everyone's happy, honey. You've done a good job.
Everyone's happy except anybody that is a hardworking American. All the wealthy people are definitely happy. I totally agree. All the wealthy donors for Trump, they're probably ecstatic. But if you're a hardworking American, you're just trying to keep a roof over your head, food on your table, take care of your family. Well, sorry, Trump doesn't care. He couldn't give a damn. He's too busy golfing in the middle of the government shutdown when nobody's receiving a paycheck that works in the federal government. It is so gross. And he's, again, being open about it, just screaming at his wealthy donors on camera, I'm bringing your taxes down. You guys who are at my club, you better enjoy it. It's so gross. And I'd be remiss if I didn't speak about this very blatant corruption that we saw just the other day. This unusual whale account that tracks like huge stock trades on Twitter broke some news the other day saying a new crypto account was opened yesterday morning, 30 minutes before Trump's announcement of a 100% tariff on China. It added a huge multi-million-dollar levered Bitcoin short position. The market dumped. The trader made a profit of $192 million in 2 hours. $192 million. 30 minutes before Trump announced the tariffs. And I think there's actually a really good argument for some market manipulation taking place in the Trump administration. This is not the first time. When Donald Trump was playing the will I, won't I game with tariffs back earlier in his second term, we saw all these different positions being opened by anonymous investors. They'd short the market, or they'd bet on the market going up, and then suddenly they make a bunch of money because Donald Trump announces that he's revoking the tariffs or he's putting them on. And just the other day, this is in connection to this, a good claim to be made about market manipulation. The other day, Donald Trump said some very strange things are happening in China. They're becoming hostile, sending letters to countries throughout the world. They want to impose export controls.
Isn't that what Martha, what's her name? Martha, the bacon lady. Lord, I got Martha Vineyard in my head. What's her name? The Martha lady. You towels and cooking and had this thing with Snoop. She be in Target and some other stores. What's her name? Did she go to jail for that? Stock trade? Martha Stewart. Yeah, thank you. Isn't that what she went to jail for? Prison? Martha Stewart? Inside trading. That's what that is. Inside trading.
Made about market manipulation. The other day, Donald Trump said some very strange things are happening in China. They're becoming hostile, sending letters to countries throughout the world. They want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earth. And then he announced a 100% tariff on China. Then just a day later, he says, don't worry about China, it'll all be fine. We don't want a trade war, no trade war. And then a bunch of people make money. Because, you know, the market goes down, they short it, market goes up, they sell it off. And I just want to give you a quick list of all the different corruption before we wrap up here. This is from Senator Scott Wiener in California. Selling off the Freddie Mac / Fannie Mae to big banks, bribes from ABC and CBS, TikTok sale to Ellison, everything Qatar, the plane gift, the military base in Idaho where they'll be training Qatari people to fly jets. Whoever bribed him by buying his scam meme coin. And this headline I want to leave you with from Forbes. Trump making his net worth go up by $3 billion with the presidency. You know, if this is not just blatant corruption with all the different money-making schemes that Trump has engaged in, I don't know what will.
Can y'all please double tap the face of your phone, just like this. Get the numbers up. I need 40 likes, y'all, real quick. Only one went up. Thank you. Come on. Or you can go to the like button on your computer device. I just need to get the likes up. Come on. Come on. Next time I have to stop, I'm leaving. I shouldn't have to keep stopping and asking y'all to hit the like button. I really shouldn't. And I have, oh yeah, I got another live set after this one. I think I did it at 9. And we're going to go into Benjamin Netanyahu or Benjamin Milolowski, whatever his name is, Netanyahu. We're going to go off in there a little bit. But if I can't get the likes up here, oh yeah, I gotta get that right here. I gotta. Yeah, so after this one, oh, I need to be charging up this phone. Lord, I'm going into Benjamin Netanyahu. You mean AunTeaFee? You do know how to say that man's name? It just slipped out, didn't it? God, dog. Benjamin Nana. Thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Yeah, I got it set up for 9 after this one.
Will MAGA accept this? Of course not. But if the roles were reversed and a Democrat did this...
Oh, yeah. Let me back up, baby. You're right.
By buying his scam meme coin. And this headline I want to leave you with from Forbes. Trump making his net worth go up by $3 billion with the presidency. You know, if this is not just blatant corruption with all the different money-making schemes that Trump has engaged in, I don't know what will. Will MAGA accept this? Of course not. But if the roles were reversed and a Democrat did this, not only would the Democrats call them out, but also number 2, Republicans would be losing it. But since it's Trump, he can do all of these things and there's no problem. The double standard, the hypocrisy is disgusting. And that's exactly why I made this video, to call it out, to inform people of exactly what is going on.
No, I need 25.
Comment down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe. As I mentioned, it really, really does go an incredibly long way. And let me tell you,
I need 25 likes. So what this says up here? He boosted by way of his son Barron. So now he got Barron inside trading. Presidency boost Trump's net worth by $3 billion in a year. $3 billion. Where they do that at? Yeah, I need 25 likes. Can't do that nowhere else. Hold on.
Hey everyone, so I am asking you to please make a contribution.
Yeah, them 3 dots at the top right work.
The DNC. And I know everyone's feeling
not for anyone else. Kai Trump accidentally exposed him on our YouTube channel. And here's this. He allegedly stole millions of dollars from an inside trade because his dad told him about the tariffs before anyone else. It all has to do with crypto. He's also now part of this TikTok deal I'm going to tell you about. And we also now know that Donald Trump is just telling his rich buddies out in the open, while on camera, that, hey, I'm working for you, not for anyone else. Kai Trump accidentally exposed him on our YouTube channel. And here's this.
Thank you, everybody.
So look, just like
Thank you. Your taxes are coming down. See, everyone's happy, honey.
That's awesome.
You've done a good job. We'll run through the 9 holes.
Okay, first off, that does not seem like a very loving grandfather, does it? I mean, he doesn't really just seem have much of a relationship with her at all. Let's watch that one more time. I think that's really telling.
You've done a good job. We'll run through the 9 holes.
She smell it.
And
she smell that shit.
Brett Meisler says here, this tool actually posted a video of Trump bragging to his rich buddies that he's lowering their taxes. Because the only person
that look is that she smelled that
they're going down are the very wealthy. Because as you know, tariffs are a tax on all of us, and that's higher than ever. By the way, Kai Trump, who posted this on our YouTube channel, 1.27 million subscribers. I feel like we could beat that. We're almost at 1 million, so if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Let's try to beat Kai Trump. Let's get to 1 million.
Y'all see, I'm not the only one that asked for likes.
That's what happened. Donald Trump's also just, he's just, I guess, doesn't really understand how laptops work because, watch this.
Well, is Barron's aptitude, in your view, business or politics?
Maybe technology. He can look at a computer. I try
He's
to
so
turn
slow.
off his car, turn it off. I turn off his laptop. I said, "Oh, good." And I go back 5 minutes later. He's got his laptop. I said, "How'd you do that?" None of your business, Dad. No, he's got an unbelievable aptitude in technology.
Barron can turn his laptop on and off.
Oh, now, so now he can steal.
For technology.
Now he can steal.
Well, that makes sense then. Now we know why Barron Trump is tied to this TikTok deal, because he can turn a laptop on and off, not because he's connected to the President of the United States, right? Of course not. We're learning now that Barron Trump is going to be potentially on the board, a 19-year-old son of the president, on the board of TikTok, the now U.S.-owned, potentially U.S.-owned company.
So a couple of weeks ago, when it was out that he had some type of exchange with, he had made some smart comment about Jasmine Crockett, and they was trying to say, yeah, I need 20. And they was trying to say, oh, he doesn't do this, don't talk about Barron, he stay at home, he's all alone, you know. Yeah. That wasn't no lie. Yeah. He already, his daddy's son for real. People were saying that wasn't his child. Yeah, it is. He lied. He cheat. He embezzles. Yeah, he do all that stuff his daddy do. Be not deceived.
The board of TikTok, the now U.S.-owned, potentially U.S.-owned company. Here's a little bit on that. Barron Trump is being eyed for a top role at the streaming app TikTok. U.S. President's sons could be appointed to the board of the $14 billion company.
What's IBF?
His father sealed a deal to spin off TikTok's U.S. business from its Chinese parent. Barron's potential role was pitched by Jake Advent, Donald Trump's former social media manager, and he goes on to say here, quote, "I'm hopeful President Trump will consider appointing his son Barron and maybe other young Americans to TikTok's board to help ensure it remains an app young people want to keep using." Now, a little bit about this deal. Now, if you're on TikTok, it is very important that you're aware of what's happening, because Donald Trump's allies, just like they're doing with all of the mainstream media companies like CBS, CNN, Donald Trump's buddies are now tied to TikTok. And so if you're on there, be aware that your algorithm very might well change, and the White House could start controlling what you see. As it says here, TikTok is an opportunity for President Donald Trump to bestow great wealth and considerable media power on a clique of allies and insiders. The details of this gift are taking shape out of the public eye. By the time the specifics become available, it will likely be too late to change them. It says here, what has been released should alarm anyone concerned about this administration's drive to consolidate wealth and media power in the hands of a loyal few. So here are a little bit about who the buyers are. TikTok's U.S. business is not being auctioned to the highest bidder. Trump has casually thrown out the names of people he might invite to make this investment, such as media moguls Rupert Murdoch and his son, Oracle's Larry Ellison, and Dell's Michael Dell. But he's yet to make public the complete roster of the purchasing group. The main criterion for inclusion seems to be fealty to Trump. Makes it feel great about using the app, right? Now, it goes on to say how the Trump administration could control TikTok. Reports on the murky TikTok deal suggest that investors will also be expected to pay a multi-billion-dollar fee to the U.S. government, the latest in a series of Trump administration deals that demand payments from the private sector. Depending on how this fee is extracted, it could put yet more power into Trump's hands. The administration might go easy on investors by backloading fee payments or squeeze them by accelerating payment demands. However, the fee is structured, its burden threatens to grant Trump yet more personal influence over the future of TikTok in the U.S. And by the way, the whole point of TikTok being banned was because they were afraid of China's control over media that Americans consume. But according to what's been made public, TikTok's Chinese parent company will continue to own 20% of the venture. And apparently, according to this, curious detail about the Trump deal is that it seems to make no substantive changes to the way that users' data will be collected and stored. So it doesn't change anything other than the fact that Donald Trump and his buddies have more control over it, but China still has access to our data. How's that? So he's actually just made it worse. So again, if you're on TikTok, just be aware that it very well could start turning into right-wing propaganda, not unlike what happened to Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. So I'm not going to say get off the app, but just be super aware of what you're consuming and try to be aware of any changes you see. Now, as I said, Barron Trump, so here's what happened. An insider placed trades 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement and walked away with $192 million in profits. People are alleging that this is Barron Trump, Someone said here, when you find out, they know it is you who shorted to make $80 million a minute before the tariff news. Now, it very well could be Barron Trump has a smaller net worth than the rest of his family.
$150 million.
Net worth is estimated to be around $150 million. Not so bad for 19. But
$150 million.
That is much smaller than his siblings. Don Jr. is reported half a billion. Eric is worth more than $70 million, all mainly from crypto. And that is also how much of Barron Trump's net worth is estimated to be around $150 million, according to Forbes, because of the World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency company that he founded alongside his father and brother, Donald Jr. and Eric, before the 2024 election. So Barron Trump, who can open his laptop gives him the right to be on one of the most powerful boards in the world. He's likely getting inside information from his father so he can make more money at the expense of you and me. And he also is just telling people, telling his rich buddies, but he's saving them money while we all have to pay more. How nice is that? So nice. So thanks for being here. If you like this video, please hit like on the video. If you're not subscribed, please.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here gonna be my last. Since y'all can't get me 20 likes, let me end here on this go round.
By Politico. Imagine you work for Donald Trump and his administration and you get caught by Politico in what you thought was a private online group chat with people saying things like, I love Hitler, and saying it's a mistake to, quote, expect the Jew to be honest, end quote, along with multiple racist phrases, as well as talking about wanting to see people, quote, going to the gas chamber, end quote, which provokes the reply, quote, I'm ready to watch people
Oh,
burn.
no, this is not the one I need to play. This one is on another.
Imagine what would happen to someone
sorry.
working in the Trump administration.
That's for another live. I'm sorry. Not that one. This one. Get the likes up. Nope, that's for another one. Where is it? Must be being delayed or everything is not going. Where is the missile?
Donald Trump is planning on using Navy warships off the coast of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean to launch missiles into Donald Trump is planning on using Navy warships
just in case y'all thought I was
of San Diego in the
playing.
Pacific Ocean to launch missiles into California, specifically to launch missiles into Camp. Donald Trump is planning on using Navy warships off the coast of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean to launch missiles into California, specifically to launch missiles into Camp Pendleton. This will coincide with the No Kings protests, which are taking place on Saturday, where they are expected
y'all get the like stuff. Y'all thought I was playing.
Pacific Ocean to launch missiles into California, specifically to launch missiles into
so we got a president
Pendleton. This will coincide with the
who wants to strike missiles on U.S. soil where we pay taxes. You understand? So now he's manipulating and saying ain't no peaceful protest. No, you can't even peacefully protest when you talking about me. Do you understand? Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda Mays. Can you double tap the face of your phone or hit the like button? I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so this weekend, he's saying, okay, y'all say they have a freedom of speech. Thank you. Or the right to say, you know, no, not and talk about me. They did that before. It made me look like a fool because I tried to compete with them and have a parade. And shit didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And I looked like the clown they said I was. So guess what? Guess what? If they peaceful protest, they walk their asses up and down them streets. Yeah, since California Newsom just won something in court and made me look like a clown that I am, an orange one at that. Did you see that orange clown they had on that float? Oh, the devil is a lie. Oh, well, God is a lie because I believe in the devil. I'm going to shoot a missile. I'm going to say they Antifa, anime, whatever. And I'm going to shoot a missile. I'm going to declare a war. How dare them laugh at me? That's like my brother put them mashed potatoes on my head. And the whole family laughed at me and made me look like a damn fool. I'm supposed to be getting that Nobel Peace Prize. I tricked the lady and having her think that I'm going to help her cause so that she can put it in honor of me. Y'all see that? And if I was the Nobel Peace Prize committee, since she didn't appreciate it and she gonna make somebody else an honorary and all that shit who tried to get it and didn't qualify, I would get it back. You don't appreciate it. Yeah. So he is trying to intimidate the No King, especially in California. He gonna turn a missile toward them, and if they protest, he gonna shoot a missile. But he over in Israel, Gaza, all over there making peace. But he want the Nobel Peace Prize. But he gonna turn a missile on U.S. soil. Oh, okay. Y'all better stay woke. Again, this ain't about left, right, black, white. This is about our freedom of speech. He can talk about any and everybody he wants to. He can call them all type of disgusting names. But if you laugh at him, he gonna put a missile on you. He gonna blow it all up. And then I'm gonna pardon myself. And then I'm gonna steal your money and funnel it over into Israel, where they in Gaza, where they building. Eric them and what's his name? Ivanka them. They already over there. Or that other one that's quiet, Donald Jr. They already over there building, networking. Yeah, I need for y'all to stay woke.
Donald Trump is planning on using Navy warships off the coast of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean to launch missiles into California, specifically to launch missiles into Camp Pendleton. This will coincide with the No Kings protests, which are taking place on Saturday, where they are expected to be particularly large in San Diego, as in many metropolitan areas across the country. Our sources have told us, and Midas Touch Network was the first to break this news, that Donald Trump is planning, under the pretext of a 250th anniversary celebration for the Marines, to conduct these naval marine exercises, which will involve shooting missiles into the territory of the United States in Camp Pendleton. Midas Touch was the first to break the story. California Governor Gavin Newsom then confirmed the steps that he was taking to fight back and mitigate the damage and destruction that could take place. This is how terrified the Trump regime is of the No Kings protest, and this is Donald Trump escalating actions against California by literally shooting missiles into Camp Pendleton in California. This had never been
a whole missile
in United States history.
A whole missile. A whole missile. Peaceful protests. I guess we thought the Capitol January 6th was bad. And he pardoned all of them. This, I ain't never seen. That was the first time we had seen that. So I guess he plans on one-upping that.
Literally shooting missiles into Camp Pendleton in California. It's never shooting missiles into Camp Pendleton in California. It's never literally shooting missiles into Camp Pendleton in California. It's never before happened. By literally shooting missiles into Camp Pendleton in California. It's never before happened in United States history. The I-5 highway is expected to be shut down as well. J.D. Vance is expected to be leading this. They're calling it a ceremony and celebration, but it is clearly a show of force in order to intimidate the people living in California, and in my view, the No Kings protesters, the peaceful protesters who are going to be out and about. Here's the exclusive that the Midas Touch Network broke. Trump may launch missiles from warships into California this Friday and Saturday as part of what is being described as a vanity parade, and shut down portions of the I-5 highway during the No Kings protests. Sources tell Midas Touch the White House will shut down portions of the I-5 for Vice President J.D. Vance's Marine Corps Navy spectacle during the No Kings protests. This could trigger chaos, gridlock, and outrage as troops remain another casualty and victim of this government shutdown. The Trump regime is apparently finalizing plans, we learn, for 2 days of events under the pretext of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps. Sources close to Midas Touch describe the closure as part of a vanity parade that may involve Navy warships shooting live missiles into Camp Pendleton as a show of force. Governor Newsom responded to our reporting says Donald Trump and J.D. Vance think that shutting down the I-5 to shoot out missiles from ships is how you respect the military. Put aside your vanity parade and pay our troops instead. Governor Newsom's press account writes, this would be an absurd show of force and totally uncalled for during a government shutdown when members of the military cannot even get a paycheck. This was a well-sourced story by our journalists at the Midas Touch Network. Aaron Parnas was the first to break this story that is since going viral across the entire United States. One of the things, if you look at the flight patterns and the flight restrictions for this Friday, Saturday, the 17th and the 18th, you'll see that temporary flight restrictions for special security reasons are now in place. That's expected to be because of the missiles that may be shot from these Navy warships into the Camp Pendleton military base. Horrific that I even have to say that. Since we reported, Los Angeles Times confirmed our earlier reporting. I-5 may be shut down due to concerns over live fire military event at Camp Pendleton. Parts of the I-5 may be closed beginning Friday over concerns Navy ships will fire live ordnances over the freeway during the military celebration. The potential closure would affect the section between Orange and San Diego counties, cutting off a major artery serving more than 80,000 daily travelers. Newsom's office criticizes the Trump administration for lack of coordination on the Camp Pendleton event featuring Vice President J.D. Vance and 15,000 attendees there. Just so you remember what it looked like in San Diego, tens of thousands of people, 30, 50,000 people, maybe more, showed up at the last No Kings protest that took place there. You remember how big the crowds were in San Diego. And we see the MAGA Republicans engaging in all sorts of intimidation tactics regarding No Kings protests, in addition to these military strikes that may be taking place inside the United States. I can't even believe I'm saying that sentence right there. MAGA Republican leaders all day yesterday, all day this morning, they've been saying No Kings is pro-Hamas. They say No Kings is pro-Antifa. They say No Kings is pro-terrorist. They say No Kings is extremist, hate America. This is how these MAGA Republicans, who are literally stealing health care from 20 million Americans while giving $40 billion to Argentina, while they rip to shreds our government, while they destroy government agencies, have led us into construction and manufacturing recessions. 22 states are in recessionary modes right now as they rip away health care and education, as prices are going up across the board. This is what these fascists are saying. Here, play this clip.
This No Kings rally this weekend, that's the blue hair anthropomorphic, experiment that's going to happen up here in Washington, D.C.
I encourage you to watch. We call it the Hate America rally that'll happen Saturday. Let's see who shows up for that. I bet you see pro-Hamas supporters. I bet you see Antifa types. I bet you see the Marxists in full display, the people who don't want to stand and defend the foundational truths of this republic.
This crazy No Kings rally this weekend, which is going to be the farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party, which is, a big title. And, no kings equal no paychecks. No kings equal no paychecks.
Clearly, the Democrat Party of today is not your grandfather's Democrat Party. They care about one thing and one thing only. Appeasing the radical pro-terrorist.
Did y'all hear the threat?
The same crowd.
No Kings means no paycheck.
In D.C.
I encourage you to watch. We call it the Hate America rally that'll happen Saturday. Let's see who shows up for that. I bet you see pro-Hamas supporters. I bet you see Antifa types.
No King means no paycheck. Y'all hear that? That was the threat right there.
Don't want to stand and defend the foundational truths of this republic.
This crazy No Kings rally this weekend, which is going to be the farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party, which is, a big title.
That's not what you saw the last time we got out there and protest. So why would y'all assume that that's what's going to happen this time? You didn't see it then. So here you go again, putting out false propaganda to put that in the people's mind, to have those radical people that tore up the Capitol to be on alert. And again, we will pardon you. So go do whatever you need to do. That's what that is.
And no kings equal no paychecks. No kings equal no paychecks.
Clearly, the Democrat Party of today is not your grandfather's Democrat Party. They care about one thing and one thing only: appeasing the radical, pro-terrorist wing of their party.
You know, the same crowd planning to protest at their I Hate America rally this weekend.
Well, one of the things that I hope Cass Patel and Pam Bondi are looking
that didn't happen before, so why are they assuming that now?
Who pays for the buses to bus a lot of these folks in? Who pays for the trucks that have riot gear that they hand out to the peaceful protesters? And I hope they are peaceful here, the No Kings protest or whatever. But again, it's absurd.
We shouldn't have to wait until the Hate America rally this weekend.
All right, I've got some news for you. Let me show you a tale of two headlines. The first from the Financial Times: U.S. moves to cancel one of the world's largest solar farms. Trump administration scraps approval for 6.2 gigawatt Nevada project. Now, let me show you this one, the New York Times. Why China built 162 square miles of solar panels on the world's highest plateau. I had to interrupt Ben's report quickly to share this with you because this is insane. The Trump administration's war on clean energy is quite literally putting America last, handing the future to China. As the New York Times editorial board recently noted, a major purpose of Biden's clean energy initiatives was to counter China in this space and ensure that the United States, not China, leads the economy of the future. Now, as a result of Trump removing funding and tax credits for wind and solar projects, energy prices are soaring. And with the growth of AI data centers draining resources and driving up costs, we need these renewable energy sources more than ever. Per the New York Times, Chinese companies now produce 60% of the world's wind turbines and 80% of its solar panels. The U.S. is falling further behind by the day, and it's the American people who are suffering. We're going to continue highlighting these climate issues, but we need you to speak out as well. So if you can, leave your thoughts in the comments about the climate and about this report. Let's make some noise. Okay, Ben, back to you.
In contrast, you have Senator Bernie Sanders speaking on CNN last night about the No Kings protests, and he says this is a Love America rally. So true, so true. Here, play this clip.
I mean, I would just add as an example, this Saturday, millions of people are going to come out on a No Kings Day. Maybe more people coming out than any time in American history. Speaker Johnson said this is a Hate America rally, because people are coming out expressing their concerns about massive cuts to healthcare and the movement toward authoritarianism. Not a hate America, it's a love America. But the point is, instead of attacking each other in that way, in my view, what we got to do is lay the issues out on the table. We got a healthcare crisis, do we not, friends?
Yes.
All right. We're the only country not to guarantee healthcare at all. How do we move to a healthcare system that guarantees healthcare to a human right? Make sense to you? All right. 70, 80 years ago in this country, if you went to a public college or university, you know what your tuition was? Zero. And yet you got all of this increased worker productivity, all of the technology. People can't afford to send their kids to college. They can't afford childcare. People are paying outrageous costs in housing. How do we build the millions of units of affordable and low-income housing that we desperately need? How do we save the planet for our kids and transform our energy system away from fossil fuel? Do you know that millions of senior citizens in this country are trying to get by on $15,000? They helped build this country. They fought for our country. They're in nursing homes, which are horrible places right now because they're underfunded, understaffed. We are the richest country in the history of the world. How do we provide a good quality life for our kids? Should we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major nation? Highest rate of senior poverty? Those are the issues. You disagree with me? Fine. Got a better idea than mine? Great. Let's go forward. Let's discuss those issues. Let's not attack each other personally. that we're un-American, that we hate America. That's nonsense. That just divides us. Let's come together. Let's discuss the real issues. Let us create the kind of extraordinary country that we know we can create.
Then you have Democratic Senator Chris Murphy making
Let's
the following video. Let's play this clip.
So the big No Kings protest is coming up on Saturday. This is a really important day. It's a day for this country to stand up and say that we've had enough with the destruction of democracy, the building of Trump's censorship state, the evisceration of our health care. But it's pretty incredible how Republicans are showing their true colors. They're showing us how much they hate democracy. They're showing us how much they hate free speech. The rhetoric is ramped up from Republican leaders in the last few days. These aren't sort of fringe actors in the conservative movement. These are the leaders of the House Republican Conference calling the protesters that are going to show up on Saturday terrorists, saying that No Kings is a hate rally. What Republicans are basically telling you is that they hate free speech. They hate free speech when it isn't conservative speech, when it isn't pro-Trump speech. If you offer any criticism of this government, then you hate America. That's ridiculous, un-American, and unpatriotic. The fact is, our country was founded on the idea that everyone has a right, a God-given right, a constitutional protected right to speak up and protest your government, especially when you think they have become lawless and corrupt. And so the idea that the people who are showing up to protest Trump are terrorists, trying to get you to stay home. They're trying to get you to believe that simply by peacefully protesting your government, you're inciting violence. That is, of course, not true, but their tactics will work if we don't show up. Their tactics will end up in our democracy being destroyed if by labeling you as terrorists, we decide to stay indoors. And so let's be there. Let's be there peacefully but forcefully protesting Trump's corruption. Let's show up in big numbers, whether it be at the rally in Washington, D.C. or at rallies all across this country. This is important. You don't back down when bullies try to silence you. You stand up and you speak up.
And then finally, you have Robert De Niro, who will be out at a No Kings protest. Here's what he has to say. Play this clip.
The original No Kings protest was 250 years ago. Americans decided they didn't want to live under the rule of King George III. They declared their independence and fought a bloody war for democracy. We've had 2.5 centuries of democracy since then, often challenging, sometimes messy, always essential. And we've fought in 2 world wars to preserve it. Now we have a would-be king who wants to take it away, King Donald I. Fuck that. We're rising up again this time, non-violently, raising our voices to declare no kings. I'm Robert De Niro. I have a would-be king who wants to take it away, King Donald I. Fuck that. We're rising up again this time.
Did y'all get that? Robert De Niro said, that. What'd he say? Oh, is it shutting down? Oh my, I was laughing too hard. You know they don't like you laughing.
Kings. I'm Robert De Niro asking you to stand up and be counted in the nationwide No Kings King Donald I.
That one right there. He looked like a clown. Huh? What did I tell you about your makeup artist? What in the hell is this? What? Are you sweating? Are you sweating it off? Or what? What type of clown makeup is this? Is this Maybelline Cody girl? What is this? You got 3, 4 different shades of, is this 40 shades of orange? Oh my God. Ain't nothing you can do to fix it. Ain't nothing you can do to fix that orange. It's here to stay.
Fuck that. We're rising up again this time, non-violently, raising our voices to declare no kings. King who wants to take it away. King Donald I. Fuck that. We're rising up again this time, non-violently, raising our voices to declare no kings. I'm Robert De Niro, asking you to stand up and be counted in the nationwide No Kings protest on October 18th. Visit nokings.org to find, volunteer, or host a protest near you. We're all in this together, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now you may be wondering, well, how is Midas Touch Network breaking that story? Aren't there like national security reporters? Aren't there reporters in the Pentagon? Well, the journalists who cover the Pentagon had to choose yesterday between signing a pledge that would make it impossible to do independent journalism and turning in their Pentagon press badges. Almost all of them, I think, other than OAN, turned their badges in and left the building. You'll recall that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, former Fox News host, who refers to himself unlawfully as the Secretary of War, said that if these national defense and national security reporters don't sign a pledge that he gets to vet their work before they publish, then they no longer have access to the Pentagon. So yesterday, they were out. The Midas Touch Network got the first scoop. I think we would have got the first scoop anyway, but there's no national security reporters inside the Pentagon anymore. And you'll recall that the Pentagon Press Association put out the following statement yesterday. Today, the Defense Department confiscated the badges of the Pentagon reporters from virtually every major media organization in America. It did this because reporters would not sign on to a new media policy over its implicit threat of criminalizing national security reporting and exposing those who sign it to potential prosecution. The Pentagon Press Association's members are still committed to reporting on the U.S. military, but make no mistake, today, October 15, 2025, is a dark day for press freedom that raises concerns about a weakening U.S. commitment to transparency and governance, to public accountability at the Pentagon, and to free speech for all. Midas Touch Network showing that...
Okay, y'all, I'll be back. I'll be back about 9:30.